Hi, this is Aluil with a guide on how to maximize your DPS as a Moonkin for normal Ultraxion and Dragon Soul. So let's dive right in. See, the first thing I do is pre-pot. I have mushrooms planted from before the fight started. I get wraths in, I get my dots up, and I get my trees out before heroism happens. I'm heading to lunar first because I glyph focus for this fight. It can actually be a bit of a toss-up where you want to go first, depending on the buffs that you have. Like maybe if you have the troll racial berserking or you have the engineering gloves, it might make more sense to go solar first, even with the focus glyph. But for me, I've decided to go lunar. So I'm just going back and forth here, and really the trick for this fight is just understanding your eclipse cycle speed. You need to know how fast you go between eclipses, and doesn't necessarily need to be a numerical value. You can just get a feel for it. And what you want to do is always make sure that you have eclipsed dots up at all times, especially when you need to exit the Twilight Realm. So the trick is managing those refreshes, even if it means sometimes clipping your dots within an eclipse to make sure that they're going to last you to the next one, even if you happen to get fading light in between there. So you can see here that I'm going back and forth, and one thing you'll watch here with Hour of Twilight, when I click it, I actually wait as much as I can, pretty much under 1 second before I go out of the Twilight Realm. My PC can handle that pretty well. I have a pretty good system. Depending on your system and your connection, you might want to not wait so long. But what you do want to do is know how long you can wait without dying, but still maximizing your DPS. Because obviously the more time you spend outside the Twilight Realm, the less time you're going to be DPSing. The other thing that you maybe noticed is that I've been starfalling just during lunar. Because this is a single target fight, you're only getting half your normal starfall damage. You want to get as much out of it as you can, and that means saving it for lunar eclipse. You can see here that in the middle of solar my starfall comes off cooldown. I'm going to wait until I hit lunar before I use it again. The other thing that maybe you've noticed, and you can check it on the next eclipse cycle, is that I'm often casting an extra wrath before I get to lunar eclipse. And that's because there's a little bit of lag time between the last wrath that you cast and when eclipse procs. And so I just want to make sure that I'm getting to lunar before I do things like refresh my dots or use Star Surge. So I'm waiting for that warning to pop up on my screen that says that I've reached lunar eclipse right there. So here I started making some mistakes. Casted my trees before my dots. I put up Moonfire before Insect Swarm, and that really threw me off. And another thing I could have done is I could have used a pot again here, even though we already used our heroism. It would have buffed my trees, and if this was a progression fight for us, I definitely would have, but it's not. But anyway, I get hung up on those mistakes that I made, and I can't stop thinking about them, and I stop paying attention to the fight. And I die because I didn't even push my button. So that's what happens when you get hung up on mistakes. But it's okay, the boss dies, we got our epics, and everything was good. Thanks for watching!